Tonight, so far tonight, we have no reason to believe Trump is going to be charged by rhetoric in the document itself and the Mueller report. No, he will not be charged with obstruction or of collusion without ever having to sit down with the special counsel Mueller and answer his damn questions. How can that happen? Do I know?
That was old Chris Matthews melting down on Friday over what must be to him a very, very disappointing Mueller report. And I'm going to show you more such scenes of Matthews' meltdowns from Friday that was compiled by the Media Research Center. In fact, down below this video, I'm going to have a link to the NewsBusters story about his epic meltdowns on Friday over it. But first, let's take a look at a very different and a very confident Chris Matthews from March 15th of 2018, last year, in which he brings up a silly illusion, a Titanic illusion, about the HMS Trump hitting the Mueller iceberg. So let's take a look at it, and then we'll get back to the very, very entertaining Matthews meltdowns.
Trump Watch, Thursday, March 15th, 2018. I think of Donald Trump as the Titanic and Robert Mueller as the iceberg. The Titanic is luxurious, sort of like a Mar-a-Lago. Its rooms are large and beautifully appointed. There's a stateliness to the staterooms, a bit of Ralph Lauren up in first class. Mahogany and green, I'd imagine, the framed pictures of fox hunts on dewy mornings. Aristocrats are welcome here. Out there in the cold distance lies the iceberg. From a safe distance, it appears small, non-threatening. Here on the HMS Trump, the music plays, the on-deck sports continue. All appears warm, calm, triumphant. Someone dares to whisper, not even God himself can sink this ship. But out there in the night, something causes the great ship to shudder. What was that terrible grinding sound, the passengers wonder? What was that tearing at the hull? Well, tonight we got the word that the ship and iceberg have made contact. It's now a matter of time whether the great ship stays afloat or, as we sang at camp, goes to the bottom of it. Something tells me when it comes to escaping disaster on the HMS Trump, it's not going to be women and children first. Ken, my biggest question, and I'm going to have this along until somebody answers it. How can the president be pointed to as leading collusion with Russia, of aiding a Russian conspiracy to interfere with our elections, if none of his henchmen, none of his children, none of his associates have been indicted? At best, it was a RICO situation where he was giving orders to people to do stuff with the Russians. If none of them were indicted, how can he be blamed? I'm just questioning. That's my big one.
They have not
charged
let's see. Let's
maybe we can help here. If you're a member of Congress or you think he missed the boat here. Because we know about the meeting in Trump Tower June of 16. We know about the meeting in the cigar bar with Kalimnik. We know, my God, we know about all those meetings with Kisilak at the Republican convention in Cleveland. All of these dots, we're now to believe, don't connect. Why was there never an interrogation of this president? We were told for weeks by experts, you cannot deal with an obstruction of justice charge or investigation without getting to motive. You cannot get to motive unless you hear from the person himself who's being targeted, a subject of the investigation. How can they let Trump off the hook? So far tonight, we have no reason to believe Trump is going to be charged by rhetoric in the document itself and the Mueller report. No, he will not be charged with obstruction or of collusion without ever having to sit down with the special counsel Mueller and answer his damn questions. How can that happen? Do I know indictment of the people around the president for collusion, if there is collusion, or that Mueller believes there was collusion? And secondly, why no interview? Why no questioning of the president?
Well, in terms of the charges and stuff like that, there are a lot of parts of Mueller that have lived on and will live on in other U.S. attorneys' offices in the eastern seaboard, basically from New York to Washington. So there's still things that are being investigated here. I think you sort of have to look at Mueller and his report as a sort of midway point as these things go forward. And I'm just not
Wait a
sure
minute, I got to stop you there.
End.
His job is to go to the collusion question. That's why he got paid all these months. That's why he had this huge team. Why dump this at 5 o'clock, close the business on a Friday? That's when you dump stuff you're not proud of. That's when you sneak something through the media. 5 o'clock in the afternoon, close the business Friday for something we've been waiting for 2 years, and they've been working apparently on this report, closing up this report for months now, maybe since August, some of the writing. How can the president be responsible for high crimes and misdemeanors if none of his people are responsible for breaking the law?
So the other part of the Justice Department policies is unless they're confident that they could get a jury to convict, they don't bring charges. That's higher than the legal standard of probable cause. So it may be that they think that there's sufficient evidence to charge people with crimes, but if they don't think they could get the conviction, they wouldn't prosecute. And that information,
and
that
a DC
analysis
jury,
would also be contained.
Come on, Paul. A D.C. jury wouldn't convict in these sets of circumstances with all this information about meetings with the Russians and what it would look like to an average common-sense juror, and you don't think they thought they could get a conviction? Made contact. It's now a matter of time whether the great ship stays afloat or, as we sang at camp, goes to the bottom of it.
Attention on deck. The HMS Matthews is sinking.